So often, we hear stories about the ultimate wingman, the guy who is flawless at helping his pals hit it off smoothly with women. But what we don't hear about are the awesome wingwomen that are behind so many successful hookups and relationships. Strange, isn't it? Hey ladies, Amy North here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a relationship coach from Vancouver, Canada, and author of The Devotion System, a program designed to help women find and lock down the men of their dreams. And today I want to talk about something that most of us have faced at some point or another, and that's being a wingwoman. This is important because if you're going out with your single and looking girlfriend, then there's a good chance that she'll spot someone she's interested in. This is where you come into play. Being a good wingwoman is important for a few reasons. First, it helps someone you care about meet men. And second, you get to be a good judge of character for her. This is especially true if she's the kind to start seeing stars the second a man walks into the room. And third, you can bank on the fact that she'll return the favor in the future. That said, becoming a good wingwoman takes time and preparation because there's more to it than meets the eye. On one hand, you have to be the fun icebreaker. On the other, you have to scheme a bit to get your friend and the man she's into chatting. And then finally, you have to vanish. Not literally, but at least in the conversation. So then, if you're looking to become the perfect wingwoman, then you'll want to keep these few pointers in mind. But before I jump into these tips, I'd like to quickly ask that if you enjoy what you learn in this video or find it helpful, then please subscribe to my channel and check out my other dating advice videos. Now, let's get rolling. Number 1, give a good pep talk. So many of us women get shy or nervous when it comes to approaching or talking to a man we find attractive. This is why part of the wingwoman role is to pump your friend up so that she's feeling on top of the world before she starts chatting with him. To do so, remind her that any guy would be lucky to have her and let her know how great of a catch she is. As much as you may think she already knows this, it doesn't hurt to remind her. When you can make your girlfriend feel good about herself in a way that shines through with confidence, then you'll not only have an easier time transitioning the conversation over to her, but it'll do wonders for her game plan too. In fact, the better you can get her to feel about herself, the greater her chances of picking up become. After all, men can spot a confident woman in a crowd, and that's the kind of person they want to be with. Number 2, strike up a conversation. As wingwoman, it's your job to strike up a conversation with the guy your girlfriend is into. However, this goes beyond saying, "Hello, this is my friend Nancy," or whatever her name is. Instead, you should be giving her a good opening to jump in the conversation, or perhaps even talking her up. To do so, steer the conversation to something your friend enjoys and can contribute to. For instance, if you notice that he's into the music playing, then you can say something like, "I'm not into this myself, but my friend Megan here loves it." Or if you see him drinking a cocktail, then mention how awesome your friend is at mixing drinks. Obviously, you'll want whatever subtle hints you drop to be true, so take time to read the situation and find a good common grounds for them to chat about. If you spew out a one-liner and walk away from the situation, then it's going to be very awkward for everyone involved. So be patient here and read the signs. Also important to note, while it's crucial that you give your friend the spotlight, it's equally as important to make sure that the situation stays smooth between her and the potential suitor. If you notice the situation is getting uncomfortable, then jump back in there and give it a positive boost or spice up the conversation. It may sound overbearing, but a great wingwoman makes sure that her friend doesn't get in over her head or is left with nothing to talk about. So keep an eye out on her and have a backup plan for if their conversation does start to go downhill. Number 3, hang with his friends. Depending on the situation, there may be other guys lingering around. Maybe they're his buds, or perhaps they're just other men looking to get lucky. As the wingwoman, it's your job to entertain these guys. Now, this doesn't mean you have to pretend to be interested in them to give your friend the floor, but rather that you may have to take one for the team. This is especially true if these guys are not your favorite kind of people, but still, keeping them preoccupied will help your friend stay focused on what she's doing. So, as much as you may want to tell them all to jog on, keep calm and stay positive. That said, you may find a guy in the group who you're interested in, and if so, it's important that you show him your best self. So, for tips on how to boost your own confidence to win over men, visit my site, www.coachnorth.com, and watch the free video presentation. There you'll also learn about my devotion sequence, which are powerful phrases that'll make any man wild with desire for you. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Number 4, know your boundaries. If you're trying to get a guy interested in your friend, then it's important that you don't make it seem like he has a shot with you. In fact, you don't even want him to be interested in you, so you're going to want to avoid over-engaging with him. Since you're trying to help your friend pick up, you need to downplay your odds. Maybe this means toning down your cutesy act, or not mentioning all the awesome things you and him have in common. Just remember, the point here is to let her shine. So get in there, kick things off between them, and then vanish. The last thing you want is to become that chick who steals all the guys. So if you agree to be the wingwoman, then remember that friendship is what's important here. Number 5, don't abandon her. Last, but certainly not least, it's important that you keep an eye on the situation. Now, I know I briefly mentioned this earlier on, but I cannot stress enough how important it is that you don't just introduce your friend to the guy and then disappear for the night. Now, you may be thinking, but Amy, you said to vanish from the situation. And while that's true, it doesn't mean that you should just leave her flying solo with no wingwoman. I mean, you wouldn't like it if your friend bailed on you on a night out, would you? So, simply put, don't leave your friend in an awkward or uncomfortable situation. If you get bad vibes from the situation, get the impression that the guy she's chatting with is interested for the wrong reasons, or if you're worried that your friend has had too much to drink, then stick around. As a wingwoman, it's your job to make sure that she's okay, and this means that above all else, consider her well-being. It doesn't matter if you're tired and want to go home, or if you think the guy she's chatting with is a great catch and will be able to handle her drunken state. Do not leave your friend alone unless you are absolutely certain that she is fine. Having a code word to get out of uncomfortable situations can come in handy here, so be sure this is something you and your gal pal discuss beforehand. Well, there you have it, tips for being a wonderful wingwoman. If you have any questions about what I've covered here, then feel free to post those in the comments below. I'll do my best to get back to each of you. Also, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, then please show your support by subscribing to my YouTube channel. There you'll also find more of my dating advice videos. Well, that does it for this time. So as always, thanks so much for watching. And until next time, take care and good luck.